On August 6, 1945, an atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima, Japan. Three days later, another atomic bomb was dropped on Nagasaki, Japan. After suffering the devastation of two atomic bombs, Japan surrendered in World War II. On October 15, 1945, French General Adhémar Leclerc arrested Sung Nak Tarn and imprisoned him in France. Sung Nak Tarn was known as a famous Khmer Esararch leader who received support from many youth forces. On September 1, 1946, a Democratic Party won the election by an overwhelming majority. The Khmer Esararch groups also came to occupy Siem Reap province. General Darp Chuan, who had previously cooperated with both the Khmer Viet Minh and Siam, Thailand, also emerged as a prominent figure during this period. On May 6, 1947, the Cambodian constitution was amended for the first time under the influence of the Khmer Seray movement, changing the system from an absolute monarchy to a constitutional monarchy. On February 12, 1949, head of state King Norodom Sihanouk appointed Yem Sormbo as prime minister. Under Prime Minister Yem Sormbo's leadership, Cambodia began to allow casinos, which led to protests by a group of youth who were former students of Si Sovart High School. After the emergence of protest movements and social unrest, head of state King Norodom Sihanouk dissolved the National Assembly on September 18, 1949. The intellectuals who were members of the Democratic Party were greatly shocked by this unexpected event, as King Norodom Sihanouk had used Article 21, which states that all powers emanate from the king, as grounds to dissolve the National Assembly. In the same year, King Norodom Sihanouk demanded France to end its protectorate treaty over Cambodia, and also demanded that France recognize the autonomous military zones established in Siem Reap and Kormpong Tom provinces. On January 14, 1950, a horrific incident occurred in Phnom Penh, when a grenade was thrown into the Democratic Party headquarters, resulting in the death of the President of the National Assembly. The assassination of the National Assembly president came at a time when Cambodia was in the midst of political tensions between liberal, royalist, pro-French, and communist factions. The president of the National Assembly Khmer was known as a member of the Democratic Party who had participated enthusiastically in the national cause alongside Sung Nak Tarn, Hem Jeev, Judge Sonvar, and Parj Cherm. He was also an activist in the independence movement led by King Norodom Sihanouk. Under the struggle for independence from French colonialism led by King Norodom Sihanouk, a treaty was finally signed in 1949 to nullify the 1863 treaty that had placed Cambodia under French protectorate during the reign of King Norodom, as well as to cancel another forced treaty from 1884. Since 1953, the Siamese, Thai, had repeatedly sent troops to control the area around Preah Vihear Temple. Cambodia then prepared a case to submit to the International Court of Justice in The Hague. On February 9, 1953, King Norodom Sihanouk traveled to France to negotiate with the French government up to 3 times. At that time, France seemed indifferent to the head of state's proposals, arguing that Cambodia did not yet have sufficient strength to defend its territorial independence from invasion by neighboring countries. Besides being under French control, the head of state faced two other pressures: the liberal-leaning group led by pro-American Cambodian intellectuals, and another pressure from the Indochinese Communist Party movement. For this reason, he demanded independence from France to prevent the Indochinese Communist Party from using it as an excuse to mobilize people against France, similar to the Khmer Isarart group supported by America. This was because the French presence in Cambodia was used by both movements as a subject to oppose his monarchical regime. On April 11, 1953, due to France's indifference in not agreeing to his proposals, head of state King Norodom Sihanouk traveled to the United States and spoke to journalists in Montreal, Canada. This was also reported by the New York Times in America on April 19, 1953, regarding his words and royal intentions in demanding independence from France. After the publication by the American New York Times, the world was shocked by this news, leading to pressure on the French government to agree to grant independence to Cambodia. France negotiated with King Norodom Sihanouk's personal representative, Pen Nut, with Sorm Sari also participating. This negotiation took place in Paris, where France made some proposals and agreed to give some concessions back to Cambodia. On May 12, 1953, Pen Nut returned to Cambodia to report to the king about the results obtained in Paris. On May 13, 1953, King Norodom Sihanouk fled to Thailand after a news announcement expressing dissatisfaction with the Cambodian people's legitimate desire for independence from France. However, upon learning that most nations supported and understood this demand for independence, King Norodom Sihanouk decided to return to Cambodia. He first stayed in an autonomous region he had created himself in the provinces of Bart Dormborn, Siem Reap, and Kornpong Tom. Pen Nut, who was the prime minister at that time, was responsible for protecting the king's autonomous region, which included both civilian forces and brave women. On May 14, 1953, King Norodom Sihanouk arrived in Phnom Penh to meet with his collaborators and the Prime Minister. On May 17, 1953, King Norodom Sihanouk declared boldly before his people in a speech at Jarn Chayar Pavilion that he would sacrifice his life to reclaim independence from France at all costs. On October 17, 1953, the agreement on Cambodia's military sovereignty was signed. On November 9, 1953, the Treaty on Granting Independence to Cambodia was implemented through a ceremony declaring the withdrawal of all French power over Cambodia, held in front of the royal palace. However, the treaty that would be officially signed had to wait until 1954, pending an official declaration through the International Conference in Geneva regarding the granting of independence to the countries of Indochina, including Cambodia, Laos, and Vietnam. Until December 1954, France declared recognition of Cambodia's full sovereignty, including the transfer of all military authority to Cambodia and the withdrawal of French military forces from Cambodia. From that time on, Cambodia, which had been under French protectorate for 90 years, was no longer under French colonial rule. It wasn't until 1962 that the incident of Thailand's claim to make Preah Vihear Temple its own property occurred. on June 15, 1962, the International Court of Justice ruled in favor of Cambodia and ordered Thailand to return the Preah Vihear temple to Cambodia. Khmer Info also concludes the collection of historical documents of Cambodia up to this period, as from that time onwards, the compilation of historical documents began to be more comprehensive, including both photographic and video collections preserved until the present day for ongoing research. This includes the period led by General Lon Nol from 1970 to 1975, the Democratic Kampuchea period of Pol Pot from 1975 to 1979, and subsequent periods up to the present day. Thank you very much for taking the time to follow us. We wish you good health and success in all your endeavors.